Welcome back, Numisma Hub coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving deep into a seemingly ordinary coin that could turn your pocket change into a small fortune. We're talking about top 9. First up, the 1981 P Jefferson nickel 5-cent coin that, under the right circumstances, could be worth thousands of dollars in today's collector market. That's right, a coin minted over 4 decades ago, with a face value of just 5 cents, has been known to fetch big money when found in pristine condition or with the right era. So if you have a coin jar lying around, now's the time to check. E2 might just be sitting on a gold mine. The 1981 P Jefferson nickel was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P Mint mark on the obverse front of the coin. Over 676 million of these nickels were struck that year, which makes it one of the more common dates in circulation. However, what makes this coin so incredibly valuable isn't the quantity produced, it's the quality and rarity of condition. Coins that have been perfectly preserved or have rare mint errors are what make the 1981 P Jefferson nickel a hot item among serious collectors. Now, let's talk value, and this is where things get exciting. In circulated condition, your average 1981p nickel might only be worth face value, but if you find one in MS67 full steps condition, that means the coin is graded mint state. 67 with a perfectly struck staircase on Monticello, it can sell for over $5,000, or even more at auction. Yes, you heard that right. One nickel, 5 cents in value, can be worth thousands of dollars due to its sharp details and untouched surfaces. That's life-changing money for such a small coin. The full steps designation is what really sends the price into the stratosphere. On the reverse side of the coin is Jefferson's home, Monticello. If you can count 5 or 6 full uninterrupted steps leading up to the building, you've got something rare. The US Mint often had trouble striking these nickels cleanly, especially in the early 80s, so full steps coins are exceptionally rare. Most nickels from this year have weak strikes and worn dies, making any full steps example a standout treasure on recent years. Auctions and private sales have proven just how valuable the 1981 P Jefferson nickel can be. In fact, a certified MS67 FS full steps example sold for over $6,000 through heritage auctions. What makes this so incredible is that it wasn't even a proof coin or a special mint issue, it was a business strike that just happened to be perfectly preserved. If you find one with a similar high grade, you're looking at some serious profit potential. But wait, it gets even better. Some collectors have discovered rare mint errors on 1981 P Jefferson nickels, such as off-center strikes, double dies, and die clashes. These types of errors make the coin even more desirable. Depending on the type and clarity of the error, prices can range from a few $100s to several thousand. So not only is the perfect strike worth money, but even flawed coins from this year might be worth a hefty sum if authenticated by a top-tier grading service like PCGS or NGC. So, how do you know if your 1981 P Jefferson nickel is valuable? First, examine it closely under a magnifying glass or take it to a local coin shop for a professional opinion. Look for those famous full steps under Monticello and check for unusual characteristics or mint errors. If you think you have a gem, consider sending it in for grading. Coins in sealed slabs with high grades command the highest prices and are highly sought after by collectors and investors alike. In conclusion, the 1981 P Jefferson nickel may seem like just another coin in your change, but it could actually be a hidden fortune. With the right condition or a rare error, this 5-cent piece could net you thousands of dollars, possibly overnight. So start checking your change, go through those old coin rolls, and keep an eye out at garage sales and flea markets, because in the world of numismatics, you never know which coin might be your ticket to riches. Next up today, we're diving into one of the most surprising and potentially life-changing coins in your pocket change, the 1982 D Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it may seem like just another 5-cent piece, but under the right conditions, this coin can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. A coin minted in 1982 at the Denver Mint might just make you rich overnight. Now, what makes the 1982 D Jefferson nickel so special? Well, most of these nickels are common and still circulate today. However, a small number of them have distinct characteristics that make them extremely rare. One such feature is the full steps designation, a trait highly prized by collectors because it indicates a coin with a perfectly struck image of Monticello on the reverse side, showing all the steps in sharp detail. The 1982D nickel with full steps is considered very scarce, especially in high mint state grades like MS65 or higher. In fact, these coins were struck during a time when the US Mint was having quality control issues, which led to softer strikes and less detail. That's what makes finding a full steps 1982D nickel so incredibly rare. And that rarity drives the price way up. Let's talk numbers. A standard 1982 D Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is typically worth face value just 5 cents. However, if your coin is in pristine uncirculated condition and has those beautiful full steps, its value skyrockets. For example, A 1982 D Jefferson nickel-graded MS-66 with full steps has sold for over $3,000 at auction. That's right, one coin, $3,000. What's even more amazing is that this coin might be sitting unnoticed in a collection, a coin roll, or even your piggy bank. The key is recognizing the signs of rarity. First, check the condition. Coins without wear and with full luster are more likely to command high values. Then look closely at the steps on Monticello. If all 5 to 6 steps are visible and unbroken, you've hit the jackpot. You may be wondering what caused some 1982D nickels to have full steps while others didn't. It comes down to the dies used during production. A newly prepared die with sharp detail could produce coins with full steps, but as the dies wore down, the detail would fade. Since quality control wasn't as tight during this period, many coins were struck with worn dies, making strong strikes, like the full steps version, very uncommon. Another factor that affects the coin's value is the coin grade. Assessed by professional grading services like PCGs or NGC, coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, and anything MS-65 or higher is considered gem quality. A 1982D nickel with full steps and a grade of MS-66 or MS-67 is where serious money comes in. Coins in MS-68 condition are almost unheard of and can bring jaw-dropping prices at auction. It's also important to know that Jefferson nickels from the early 1980s are not generally known for their quality. That's why collectors value any exceptional coin from this era even more. If you have a 1982D nickel that looks especially sharp, it's definitely worth sending it in for grading. It could be worth far more than you expect. Let's not forget about errors. While the full steps variety is the most famous valuable form of the 1982D Jefferson nickel, error coins from this year can also be worth big bucks. Some examples include off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchette. These mint errors can increase a coin's value from just a few dollars to several hundred, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. To find one of these rare coins, you don't need to go treasure hunting in the mountains. You can start right at home. Try coin roll hunting. That's when you pick up rolls of nickels from your local bank and search through them for rare dates and varieties. Thousands of collectors do this as a hobby, and some have struck gold, or in this case, nickel. Don't overlook coin shows, estate sales, or flea markets. Often, sellers don't realize the value of what they have, especially if a coin is ungraded or lightly circulated. Keep an eye out for sharp strikes, good luster, and that all-important full steps detail. You could walk away with a coin worth hundreds for just a few bucks. When you think about it, the 1982 D Jefferson nickel represents an exciting mix of history, rarity, and opportunity. It's not just about the metal content, it's about the story behind the coin. The errors, the low mintage quality, and the thrill of possibly discovering a high-grade full steps coin that could change your financial situation overnight. And here's a tip for storage. If you suspect you have a valuable coin, don't let it get damaged. Use soft cotton gloves when handling it and store it in a protective coin flip or slab. Scratches, fingerprints, or improper cleaning can reduce a coin's grade and its value significantly. If you're serious about turning your coin collecting into a profitable hobby or side hustle, start researching coin grading standards, join online forums, and maybe even get a magnifier to inspect coins in better detail. It's a fun, educational, and potentially lucrative pursuit. Who knows, that 1982 D Jefferson nickel in your collection could be your ticket to a mini fortune. So, there you have it, the 1982 D Jefferson nickel, a small piece of change that could bring in big change. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content about rare coins, their history, and how to find them, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You never know, the next coin we feature might be hiding in your pocket right now. Next up in today's episode, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising and valuable coins that could be hiding in your pocket change right now. The 1983 P Jefferson nickel. Yes, you heard that right. This seemingly ordinary coin from the Philadelphia Mint could be your ticket to a small fortune. Stay tuned, because this story is going to blow your mind. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938 and features the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. On the obverse, over the years these coins have seen various changes, errors, and minting quirks. But what makes the 1983 P Jefferson nickel special isn't just its design. It's the rare combination of condition, errors, and scarcity in high grades that turns it from common pocket change into a jackpot. The 1983 Jefferson nickels were struck at 2 mints. Philadelphia no mint mark, but sometimes marked with P depending on the year in Denver. The 1983 P nickel is particularly valuable when found in exceptional condition or with rare mint errors. Over 561 million nickels were struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1983, so what makes some of them worth thousands? Let's find out. During the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint did not produce mint sets in 1982 or 1983, meaning most coins from these years only survived through circulation. That's bad news for coin condition, but great news for collectors. Why? because finding a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition from these years is much harder and therefore much more valuable. Most 1983p nickels you'll find will be in circulated condition, showing wear, scratches, and dings. However, if you manage to find one in mint state 66 or higher, the value skyrockets. For example, in MS67 full steps condition, these coins can sell for over $1,500, and in rare auction results, even higher. So, what is full steps, and why is it such a big deal? Full steps refers to the 5 or 6 distinct steps at the base of Monticello on the reverse side of the nickel. If those steps are completely visible and uninterrupted, the coin receives the full steps designation, a mark of high strike quality and rarity. Very few 1983p nickels have full steps, making them extremely collectible. Let's talk about some real-life numbers. A 1983 P Jefferson nickel-graded MS67 with full steps sold at auction for over $1,900. Another coin, graded MS66 with full steps, still fetched over $600. These prices prove that even 5-cent coins can turn into big money overnight, if you have the right one. This particular year and mint mark combination has gained popularity in recent years, especially among serious nickel collectors and registry set builders. Since high-grade full steps coins are so rare, they often become the last piece needed to complete a perfect collection, increasing demand and price. But wait, there's more. The 1983 P Jefferson nickel is also known for some amazing mint errors, including off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die breaks. If you have a 1983 P nickel with any kind of dramatic mint error, its value could be several hundred to several $1,000, depending on the severity and condition. Condition is king when it comes to coin value. A common 1983p nickel in average condition is still worth 5 cents. But a perfectly preserved example with brilliant luster, no scratches, and full steps. Now that's the kind of coin collectors will pay top dollar for. Always handle coins carefully and store them properly to maintain their value. So how can you find one of these valuable 1983p nickels? Start by searching your spare change. Check old jars, rolls from the bank, or collections you might have inherited. Look closely at each 1983 nickel. Pay attention to the detail on Monticello steps and the coin's overall condition. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can be a great tool for spotting hidden treasure. If you think you've found a high-grade 1983p nickel, the next step is to have it graded by a professional service, such as PCGs or NGC. These companies, you can officially certify your coin's grade in full step status, which significantly increases its market value and buyer trust. The market for high-grade nickels is hot right now, especially among registry set builders who are willing to pay premium prices for top specimens. A 1983p nickel that once seemed worthless can now be auctioned for hundreds or thousands, thanks to limited supply and growing demoning. Before you toss your pocket change into the vending machine, take a second look. That shiny or unusually sharp 1983p nickel could be your ticket to a quick payday. Collecting is not just a hobby, it's a potential investment, especially when you learn what to look for. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin in your change. You could inspire the next great discovery. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next coin be worth a fortune. Next up, today's video is going to blow your mind. We're diving into the world of the 1984 D Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin that, under the right conditions, can fetch thousands of dollars in the collector's market. That's right, a coin you might easily overlook in your pocket change could be worth big money. If you've ever dreamt about hitting the jackpot through coin collecting, this might be your lucky day. The 1984 D Jefferson nickel was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small d mint mark located on the right side of Monticello on the reverse of the coin. While millions of these coins were produced, over 26 million, to be exact, not all of them are created equal. In fact, only a tiny fraction are valuable enough to turn heads and attract serious offers from collectors. So, what makes this nickel so valuable? It's all about the condition and errors. Most circulated nickels from this year are worth face value. However, if you're lucky enough to have a coin in pristine condition, what's known in the coin world as mint state MS, or better yet, a coin with a rare error, you could be looking at hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's talk about grade. A 1984 D Jefferson nickel graded MS65 or higher by PCGs or NGC is considered a high-grade coin. These are incredibly hard to come by. In MS66, the value jumps significantly. In MS67 and above, you're now in rare territory. Collectors will pay big money for such specimens. One M67 example has sold for over $1,000 at auction. Now here's where things get even more interesting: errors and varieties. The 1984D nickel is known for a couple of key error types that make it stand out. One of the most famous is the double die reverse error. This means some elements on the reverse of the coin, like the inscriptions or Monticello, appear doubled due to a misalignment in the die during the minting process. A clear and strong doubling can dramatically increase the coin's value. If you own a 1984D nickel with noticeable doubling on the reverse, especially if it's in a high grade. You're looking at potentially several hundred to thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and condition. Another type of error to watch for is the off-center strike. These coins were not struck properly and have part of the design missing or misaligned. A 1984D nickel with a 10 to 20% off-center strike in MS condition can bring in $200 to $500, and more extreme off-center examples can go even higher. There are also die cracks, cuds, and clipped planchettes that have been found on 1984D Jefferson nickels. These minting errors, especially when dramatic and visible, make the coin even more attractive to error collectors. Each error adds a premium to the base value. You may be wondering how to check the value of your coin. The answer lies in grading and authentication. Getting your coin certified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can significantly increase its value. Buyers trust these services and will pay more for a slabbed, authenticated coin. Let's break down the value levels for the 1984D Jefferson nickel. In circulated condition, most are worth between 5 to 10 cents. In mint state, 65. Values start around $25 to $50 in MS66. You're looking at $100 to $200, and if you hit the jackpot with an MS67, prices can exceed $1,000, especially if there's an error involved. The highest known sale of a 1984D Jefferson nickel was at a major auction house where a superb MS67 full steps example went for a whopping $1,293. The full steps designation is extremely important. It refers to the visible, complete steps on Monticello, which are usually the first to wear down. Full steps coins are highly desirable. So where can you find one of these valuable coins? The answer might be closer than you think. Start by checking your spare change, coin jars, and old rolls of nickels from the bank. Some collectors even search bank boxes to hunt down valuable Jefferson nickels. Another great place to find them is at estate sales, flea markets, garage sales, or coin shows. Many people don't know what they have, and if you're educated on what to look for, like the mint mark, doubling, or full steps, you can score a rare find for just a few cents. If you do find a 1984D Jefferson nickel with strong luster, little to no wear, or any of the error characteristics we've talked about, your next step should be to get it appraised or sent in for grading. With a bit of luck, you might be holding a small fortune in the palm of your hand, a simple nickel worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. To wrap it up, the 1984D Jefferson nickel is a sleeper hit in the world of coin collecting. It's proof that even modern coins can bring in big money if you know what to look for. So check your change, grab a magnifying glass, and start hunting. You might just find a coin that could change your financial future. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on valuable coin tips. Happy collecting, and good luck, treasure hunters! Next up today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking coins of modern times, the 1985 P Jefferson nickel, and why this 5-cent piece could be worth a fortune in today's market. The 1985 P Jefferson nickel might seem like just another ordinary coin in your pocket, but certain rare examples of this nickel are selling for hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auction. While the coin itself was struck in the millions, it's the rare errors and pristine conditions that have collectors going crazy. One of these nickels could very well change your life overnight. The Jefferson nickel has been in circulation since 1938, honoring America's third president, Thomas Jefferson. It replaced the Buffalo nickel and has become one of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of Jefferson, while the reverse shows his famous home Monticello. The design remained largely the same until 2004. The P mint mark on the 1985 Jefferson nickel indicates that it was minted in Philadelphia. While millions were produced, over 600 million to be exact, only a small handful are worth serious money today. The reason? Quality, rarity, and error varieties that drive collectors wild. In 1985, the Philadelphia Mint produced 594,483,000 nickels. That's a huge number, meaning most 1985 P nickels you come across are only worth face value, just 5 cents. However, within that massive mintage are ultra-rare examples with perfect condition or dramatic minting errors. That's where the big money lies. Condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with MS mint state grades starting at 60 and going up to 70. A MUI 985-B. Nickel graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC is extremely rare and can fetch hundreds of dollars, sometimes more, depending on market demand. One of the most stunning examples of this coin was a 1985 P Jefferson nickel graded MS67 full steps, a highly coveted designation for sharp strike quality on Monticello steps, which sold for over $1,000 at auction. These coins are rare because most 1985p nickels were weakly struck and show signs of heavy circulation. The full steps designation is awarded when all 5 or 6 steps on Monticello are clearly visible and separated, a sign of a perfect strike. Most nickels don't have this due to worn dies or bad striking pressure. A 1985p with full steps is incredibly rare and instantly valuable to serious collectors. Besides condition, error coins from 1985 can bring in big money. Look out for off-center strikes, double dies, and clipped planchettes. A 1985p with an offset error or a visible double die obverse DDO can be worth $100 to $500 or more, depending on how dramatic the error is. A DDO occurs when the die itself is engraved with a double image, creating coins that look like the design is doubled, especially on the date, lettering, or Jefferson's eye. While DDOs are rare in 1985 nickels, they do exist, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for confirmed examples. Collectors want top-notch examples of the 1985p nickel. You've got one with no wear, strong luster, sharp details, and maybe even full steps. It might be time to send it off for grading. Grading companies like PCGs and NGC can verify your coin's quality and help you earn big when it comes time to sell. So, how can you tell if your 1985p nickel is valuable? Use a magnifying glass or a coin loop. Check the steps of Monticello. Are they clean and distinct? Look closely at the date and lettering. Any doubling? Check the rims and edges for clipping or off-center design. The more unusual or perfect it looks, the more valuable it may be. If you think you've found a gem, don't rush to spend it. Valuable coins should be graded and certified before selling. After that, you can auction it on platforms like Heritage Auctions, eBay, or through a professional coin dealer. Selling to the right audience can make all the difference. Turning a 5-cent coin into a $1,000 payday. One fun and affordable way to search for a valuable 1985p nickel is through coin roll hunting. Grab a $2 box of nickels from your local bank and sort through them. You'd be surprised how many older nickels are still in circulation, including rare ones that others have overlooked. Be cautious. Not every old nickel is valuable. Some sellers may exaggerate coin values online. Always verify with a third-party grader before assuming your coin is worth hundreds. Use sites like PCG's Coinfax or NGC's price guides to see real-time market values based on grade. So there you have it, the incredible story of the 1985 P Jefferson nickel that could turn pocket change into serious profit. Have you checked your change yet? Next up today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1986 D Jefferson nickel, a seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin that could actually be worth thousands of dollars today. Yes, you heard that right. This little nickel could make you rich overnight. Let's explore how and why. The Jefferson nickel series has been circulating since 1938, featuring the face of President Thomas Jefferson. But in the mid-1980s, certain years and mint marks started producing rare varieties, and the 1986 D Jefferson nickel stands out as one of the most valuable of them all. Minted in Denver, this coin may look normal at first glance, but collectors know it can be worth a fortune. So what makes the 1986 D nickel so special? The answer lies in a combination of factors: low population in high grades, rare minting errors, and pristine conditions. While millions were minted, only a small number have survived in flawless condition, and those are the ones breaking records. At auctions, in terms of mintage, over 459 million Jefferson nickels were produced at the Denver Mint in 1986. That's a lot, right? But don't let that fool you. The real value is found in MS67 or higher condition coins, as graded by PCGs or NGC. These high-grade examples are rare, and rare equals valuable in the coin world. Now let's talk money. A regular 1986 D nickel in circulated condition is only worth face value, just 5 cents. But a 1986 D Jefferson nickel graded MS67 full steps can fetch anywhere from $500 to over $4,000 at auction. Yes, thousands of dollars for one coin, and some private sales even go higher if the buyer is looking to complete a perfect registry set. What does full steps mean, you ask? On the reverse side of the coin, there's an image of Monticello, Jefferson's home. Coins with sharply struck and fully visible steps, usually 5 or 6 clear steps, are extremely desirable. They indicate precision in the minting process, and that's rare, especially for the 1986 D issue. Only a handful of these coins have achieved full steps in MS67 and MS68. That's where the big money lies. As of recent data, the highest auction price for a 1986 D MS67 FS Jefferson nickel reached $4,935 at Heritage Auctions. That's life-changing money for something that could be in your pocket change right now. Even coins in MS66 full steps are commanding prices of $150 to $400 depending on eye appeal and luster. So if you're coin roll hunting or checking old change jars at home, keep an eye out for these well-preserved coins. It could pay off big ties. Let's not forget mint errors. The 1986 D Jefferson nickel also appears with rare die clashes, off-center strikes, and double die obverses. These error coins are like hidden treasures, some selling for $100 to over $1,000 depending on severity and collector interest. One famous error example includes a dramatic off-center strike where Jefferson's face is halfway off the coin, a result of misalignment during the minting process. These are not only rare but highly collectible. Combine that with a high grade, and you have a coin that dealers fight over. Grading your 1986D nickel is essential. Coins graded by PCGS or NGC are trusted in the collector community. If you believe your coin has full steps or is in superb condition, getting it professionally graded could boost its value by hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Authentication is also crucial because fakes do exist. Always deal with certified grading services and reputable dealers if you're buying or selling valuable Jefferson nickels. A certified MS67FS coin holds solid investment value and is much easier to sell at auction or through private collectors. Storage also matters. If you want to preserve or increase your coin's value, make sure you store it properly. Use coin flips or capsules. Keep it away from humidity and avoid touching it with bare hands. The better the condition, the bigger the payday. Let's summarize. The 1986 D Jefferson nickel may seem like just another coin, but under the right conditions, especially MS67 full steps, it can be worth thousands. Look for sharp strikes, clear steps, no scratches, and even mint errors. These factors are your key to unlocking the coin's full potential, whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner. Always check your pocket change and old coin jars. That one nickel you toss aside could be the ticket to your next big payday. With demand for high quality 1986 D Jefferson nickels rising, now's the perfect time to look. And that wraps up our deep dive into the most valuable 1986 D Jefferson nickel. Next up today, we're diving into the world of nickel, specifically the 1988 D Jefferson nickel, which has taken collectors by surprise with its shocking value. That's right, this seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin could be worth thousands of dollars, and in some cases, even change your life overnight. The 1988 D Jefferson nickel was minted at the Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark, just beside Thomas Jefferson's portrait. While millions of these coins were produced, over 563 million to be exact, not all 1988 D nickels are created equal. Some rare error varieties and high-grade examples have stunned the market with eye-popping prices. The coin features the familiar, the image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlupp. On the reverse, we see his famous home Monticello. While the design remained mostly unchanged, what truly sets a valuable 1988 D nickel apart is its condition, strike quality, and rare mint errors. These are the factors that can send its value skyrocketing. Let's start with condition. A 1988 D nickel found in your pocket change won't make you rich, but one in mint state condition, especially MS66, MS67, or higher, can fetch serious money. For example, a Jefferson nickel graded MS67 full steps by PCGS has sold for over $2,000 at auction. You're probably wondering, what does full steps mean? On the reverse of the coin, Monticello has steps leading up to the building. If the strike is sharp enough to show 5 or 6 full, uninterrupted steps, the coin qualifies for the coveted full steps designation, a major factor in determining premium value. Key but wait, it gets even better. The most expensive 1988 D Jefferson nickel recorded was sold at Heritage auctions. It was graded MS67 full steps and sold for a staggering $3,850. That's thousands of times its face value, turning a simple nickel into a treasure. Why was this coin worth so much? Simple quality and rarity. Only a small handful of 1988 D nickels were struck with such precision and preserved in perfect condition. Combine that with collector demand for high-grade nickels, and you have a perfect storm for a big money sale. Another reason some 1988 D nickels are worth a fortune is mint errors. Coins with double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or clipped planchettes can sell for hundreds, or even thousands, depending on the severity and eye appeal of the error. One notable mint error found on a 1988 D nickel is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchette is misaligned during the minting process. If the design is significantly off-center and the date and mint mark are still visible, this can increase its value exponentially. Some of these sell for over $100 to $300, depending on condition. Even a double die error where elements like the date or liberty appear double can bring in big money if authenticated. Collectors love these mistakes, and they often pay a premium for them, especially when found on coins from modern years like 1988. So, how can you tell if your 1988 D nickel is valuable? First, examine it under a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for signs of sharp details on Monticello steps. Check for mint errors or any doubling in the letters and numbers. Then, check its condition: no scratches, discoloration, or heavy wear. If your coin looks promising, your next step is to get it graded by a professional service, like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade is what collectors trust and what truly determines the coin's market value. Remember, A coin that looks perfect to you might not get a high grade unless it meets strict industry standards. What makes the 1988D nickel so appealing is that it's still out there. Unlike older coins that are locked away in collections, many 1988D nickels are still in circulation. That means you might just find a rare one in your pocket change, coin jar, or even from your local bankroll. The key to hitting the jackpot is knowledge and patience. Start checking your change regularly. Focus on full steps, sharp details, and any signs of error, even if you don't find a jackpot coin right away. The hunt is exciting and every nickel tells a story. Don't forget, the coin market is always changing. Values can rise as collector interest grows. A 1988D nickel that's worth $1,000 today might be worth $5,000 in the future if demand continues. Holding onto a rare one could be an investment worth considering. Paragraph 15. Conclusion. So there you have it, the 1988 D Jefferson nickel, a coin that could be hiding in plain sight and has the potential to make you rich overnight. Whether it's a pristine MS67 full steps beauty or a dramatic mint era, keep your eyes open. The next time you get change from the store, you might just hold a fortune in your hand. Next up today, we're diving deep into one of the most underrated yet shockingly valuable coins hiding in plain sight, the 1999 D Jefferson nickel. That's right, a simple 5-cent coin that could be worth thousands of dollars in today's market. If you've got one lying around, it might just make you rich overnight. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since 1938, but certain years and mint marks hold special surprises, and 1999D, minted in Denver, is one of those rare cases. While millions were produced, a tiny fraction contains errors and conditions that skyrocket their value among collectors. The standard 1999D nickel isn't worth more than face value in circulated condition, but the big money lies in high examples and mint era coins, especially those with full steps FS on Monticello, the building on the reverse. Coins with full uninterrupted steps are incredibly rare and highly desired. Let's talk numbers. A 1999D Jefferson nickel graded MS68 full steps by PCGS or NGC can sell for up to $1,500 to $3,000, and in some reported auctions even exceeded those figures. These coins are virtually flawless, with sharp strikes and no wear. Why so valuable? Because Jefferson nickels from the late 90s are notoriously difficult to find in perfect condition. And Denver mint coins especially had weak strikes that didn't fully show Monticello steps. That makes a perfectly struck 1999D coin a true rarity. But that's not all. Errors add even more value. Some 1999D Jefferson nickels feature off-center strikes, die cracks, doubled dies, or even clipped planches. One known example with a major off-center error sold for over $800. The most desirable error to look for is a doubled die reverse DDR. Though rare, if found, these coins can fetch $500 to $1,200 or more, depending on the clarity and position of the doubling, especially around Monticello or the words e pluribus unum. Now let's talk about grading. The value of your 1999D nickel is heavily dependent on its condition and grade. Coins in mint state MS condition, particularly MS66 to MS68, are where the real money starts. Having it certified by PCGS or NGC can increase its resale value dramatically. To check if your coin is valuable, use a 10x magnifier and look at Monticello. If all 5 or 6 steps are fully visible and unbroken, you might have a full steps Jefferson nickel, one of the rarest qualities in nickel collecting. Also look closely for any signs of errors, letters that look doubled, a weak strike, or strange edges. A coin with any of these anomalies is worth far more than 5 cents. Don't clean the coin, it might lower its grade and value. Let's not forget about mintage numbers. In 1999, the Denver Mint struck over 1.7 billion nickels, so yes, they're common, but the true value lies in the perfect storm of condition, rarity, and error type. That's what separates a 5-cent coin from a $5,000 payday. Coin dealers and collectors on platforms like eBay and Heritage Auctions are actively seeking high-grade and rare era nickels from this year. Some of the top auction records for the 1999D nickel are $3,525, $2,640, and $1,999, depending on certification and error types. If you want to cash in, start by checking your pocket change, old jars, and coin rolls from the bank. These rare Jefferson nickels often slip by unnoticed and can be a life-changing find for a keen-eyed collector. Remember, what seems like just another nickel could actually be a rare gem hiding in your change. The 1999 D Jefferson nickel proves that coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a potential goldmine. Every collector dreams of that one lucky discovery, and this nickel might just be it. So, before you toss your change in the vending machine, take a closer look. That 1999 D Jefferson nickel might just be your ticket to thousands. If you found this video helpful or exciting, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more rare coin videos. Drop a comment. If you've got a 1999D nickel, who knows, you might be sitting on a small fortune.